All right, guys, I'm experimenting with my music. We will be live in just 1 second. Hello. So I know we're not supposed to use that music with Facebook with their new rules, but I did it anyway because it's so cool. And I needed to have a space behind the scenes to share in the group. So what I would love for you guys to do is, if you are here live, please let me know so I can see your comments. Hello. Oh my God. Okay, great. I am alive. It's happening. Hello, Lucille. Hello, Kelly. And hello, everyone else who is jumping on. Please let me know. Let me know in the comments a couple of things. So, as I was going through the materials, connecting with all of you, by the way, the feedback has been outrageous. I cannot believe how exciting the feedback has been. Oh, no. Okay. Okay, let's see. Sorry. Let's see if that's gonna work. I had to have all my things here. All right. I think I'm ready. So, where was I? Hello. And I have been hearing all of your comments. I cannot believe how many of you guys have been committing to these 4 days. How many are you showing up? So many of you doing your homework, so many of you participating. And today is really the culmination of all of this energy. And those of you that are here live, I really commend you, because what we're talking about here is deep, profound information. And now we're taking it to the next level. I'm going to wrap up all of the topics and I'm going to bring it forward into a new perspective, and we're going to lay the foundation as a community for your 2024. So it's going to be a powerful day today. And so I realized, as I was reading the comments, connecting with all of you, what I realized was that what was a little bit challenging that I didn't address is your inner authority. And I really, truly do believe that we need to talk about it today, because we are going into the area of intuition. The area of intuition is the spleen. The area of the 48, the gate 48, is the spleen, and very similar to what most spiritual teachers refer to as your intuition. However, if you have been given the guidance, follow your intuition, follow your heart, all of those things, it's going to actually throw you off if you do not know the rest of your human design chart. No joke. So, what I'd like for you guys to do today is, if you could type in the chat your inner authority, and if you have gate 48, what line you have it in. I'm going to try, I would love to be able to go through each one of the lines, but I've realized that even though I want to do that in these trainings, it's just too much information, and it's overwhelming to a lot of people to go through all the lines, all the gates. I realized that as I was unpacking all of this information, that truly I had high expectations to cover a lot of different materials in this Big Vision Envision. And I want to explain to you why. Okay. So I want to explain to you a little bit about that. Now, when we're talking about human design and we're talking about spiritual connection and the downloading of the information with the guides, and we're talking about manifestation, law of attraction, visioning, we're bringing in mindset pieces. You need to understand what the difference is in these frequencies and how to integrate these frequencies into your life. Otherwise, it is truly a way to spin out of control from what I've witnessed. Because when you are on a spiritual path, if you don't understand the human design piece, then you absolutely take action in all the wrong ways. Then you doubt your intuition or you doubt your spiritual guidance, you doubt your guides, okay? And then you think, oh, that spiritual stuff is all BS. Now, what happens in human design is you start living your design, you learn all the pieces, you learn all the things. And then something may happen where you need actually connection to the unseen forces and the guides from beyond, more than just your human design. And you don't have that pathway or that channel, so then you doubt your human design, right? So you do have to understand both these pieces in order to live a fully epic, spiritualized existence in manifestation, in my humble opinion. Of course, there's many other tools, many other ways, and I'm not putting any of them down. I'm just saying this one's the best. I'm just joking. I'm just saying this is a good one. So, if you agree, give me a thumbs up. All right, so we have 48.6 Lucille with the undefined spleen, emotional splenic authority, Stephanie with the number 48. Hi, Kelly. She has the solar plexus and yes to gate 48. Okay, so this is really good. So you guys know the basics. Now, a lot of people, as they were commenting, were saying, oh my God, you guys are speaking another language. I'm not getting it. And so I do want you to know that this is actually a very high level training. I am talking about all different types of connections as I'm bringing forward these ideas. And normally in my classes, when I teach, I start in the foundation so that you understand the basics and each piece builds on the next. Okay, so don't feel intimidated if you aren't getting some of the pieces. This is meant to be a high and a beginner level. So it has everything in it. So you might get some ahas and maybe not everything. And you may be just curious to learn more. And that's what I'm hoping. So the human design and the spiritual piece, I want to explain this for a moment. Ra Uru, the founder of human design, specifically stated that human design is a different plane than the spiritual existence. Now, he didn't say it wasn't spiritual. He just was a heretic and liked to make fun of woo-woo people a little bit just so he could separate himself. And I get it. I get it. But he's the most woo of all. He's a mystic. He's a whack job. No, he's woo, okay? We all know this. But what he did say is that human design was the practical piece that fit in the mental plane. It fit in the plane when after you connect to your guides and you are bringing in that spiritual wisdom after you really take those journeys of beyond. And when you come back and integrate it into your world and you take action, this is the human design piece. This is the piece where he says, okay, there's all this frequency coming in, there's all these dimensions, there's all this space, this time, these realms. And if you don't know how to integrate it into the physical body, your arms, your legs, your feet, your jobs, your bills, your mortgage, then what you have is action into chaos. Okay. And so, what the human design piece is saying, it goes both ways. The spiritual assists in the practical, but the practical foundation gives way for the opening of new spiritual connection, new downloads from your guides, new information, new awakenings, and new vibrational frequencies when you're grounded. Think about it. When everything's going really well in your life and you have space and you're loving what you're doing, there's time to meditate. There's time for self care. There's time to open up to new dimensions of your guides and uh, your system from beyond. Okay, and if you're too much in that mode of 3D, work, 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 and you don't have the space, then sometimes it's also hard to sit back and open up and allow for more information to come in. So all these pieces play their role. Okay, all these pieces play their role. Now, today, it's really important that we set the foundation for your 24. This is a big part of the Big Vision Envision, is we want to bring your visions, we want to bring your goals, for lack of a better word, because goals sometimes don't work well with undefined ego people. So we want to bring and allow yourself to dream, allow yourself to vision, allow yourself to feel into the power of what is coming in for 2024. And I want you guys to just spend a second with your crystal, with your sacred item, with your journal, to journal out, what is the frequency feeling for 2024? What do I want to feel this next year? What vibration do I want to hold? What alignment do I want to feel? What areas do I want to explore? Is it the area of the health, the area of building my business? What am I willing to hold for? Because sometimes we just cut off the dreaming. Sometimes we cut off our next level because we get so into the day to day. So now, for a moment, it's time to just allow yourself to feel, what would it be like if I really allowed myself to dream a little? What would it be like for me, no matter what age, what my situation is, if I really want a divine beloved partner who gets me, who we can build together, who really sees my uniqueness? What would it be like if I said, yes, I really do want that? Because sometimes we go on the other way of like, oh, it's not coming, so I don't want it. Or this is good enough for me right now. Or I like my job, it pays the bills, I'm safe, I'm sound. I don't even want to dream of something new, right? And so, what if we just took the top off for 1 minute and we allowed each and every person in this community to really feel what it feels like to be in your highest aligned purpose? What does that feel like to you? And what are you willing to expand on? So I want you guys to just explore that. And if you need to, if you're listening to the replay, please type in hashtag BVE. Please type in your dream and your vision. Please post it in the group if you haven't yet, so we can all hold the frequency. And what I'd love for you all to do right now is just put your hands out. I know we can't all see each other, but put your hands out and send that frequency of yes, you can, divine light and support to everyone in this community, to know that each and every person has the power within to live their purpose, and so do you. And sometimes when you give out, you receive back. When you believe in other people, you believe in yourself. And so this is really important, to see it in other people, to give the hearts to the other people, to let them connect to their own dreams and visions as well, and to support that. How powerful is that? How powerful is it to really commit and connect to the joy and the frequency of the other beings that are in this community, the like minded? So I want to talk about why I chose the 214, the 2145, the undefined and the defined ego, to talk about money, to talk about manifestation. Because you see, when we're visualizing and when we're manifesting and when we're bringing in new frequencies around the money piece, you do have to understand how the human design piece is going to operate for you. You have to understand when you are not defined in the money line, when you're not defined in the lucky money channels, how do you make money? How do you receive and absorb that frequency when it's not you? And so we talked a lot about that 214, which is the direction, which is often referred to as the lucky money channel, and the 214, the power channel, the power resources. This is that foundational piece for resources and direction. And so it's really important to talk about this when we're talking about money. Now, one of the things we didn't really go into too much is each one of those hanging gates off a defined or undefined center. All those words sometimes to people who are new can be confusing. For those of you who are advanced, you know. And for those of you curious, I hope it piques your interest, because those are all the dimensions and the dynamics that are ebbing and flowing in your existence with making money. Okay. So then we realize that if we do not have the 214, what are we all conditioned to do? Abdicate our direction to the outside world. Tell me what to do. Tell me where to go. What should I be? How should I run my business? Oh, 7-figure this, I'll invest there. Oh, 8-figure, this is the funnel you need. This is the thing you need. Oh, I'll invest there. Direction is conditioned from the outside world. Then we go over to the 2145, and what are we all conditioned to do? Give our power over to the king and the queen, someone who rules us, someone who knows more than us, someone who can tell me how to lead my life. So, what are all of these things telling us? They're telling us that no one out there should be controlling your life whatsoever. And if you have these channels, oftentimes you forget to then follow your inner authority. In other words, you may have direction and you may be like, I know where to go, I know where to go, I know where to go. Oh, I forgot to listen to my inner authority and my strategy. So I'm just on a fast track to all sorts of crazies. I'm on a fast track to get me the heck off of this road. I'm on the fast track of falling from an airplane without a parachute. Wake me up when it's over. So, in other words, those people who are manifesting generators and generators with direction, you're going somewhere, but are you going the right place? And then those people with the ego and the will for the 2145, you have leadership, but are you benefiting everyone in your tribe or just yourself? Right? Now, all of these aspects are affecting the money making, but there are so many more. There are so many more. This is just to kind of allow you to understand these dynamics just a little bit. Now, what I believe is that there are exercises beyond human design that allow your spiritual beingness, your higher wisdom, your guides. Now, those of you who are interested in the rave cosmology, I'm getting a lot of questions on this. And so I want to try and bring that piece in just a little bit. I'll spend some time talking about it. And then we're going to get to the gate 48. When you're talking about rave cosmology, Ra Uru had an 8-day encounter with the voice. He then analyzed it based on human design to show you how his aura mechanics operated for that experience. So, what he did is he showed us where the outside force came in through certain lightning strikes in the chart, awakened the guide, and then brought forward the higher entity. So we each have 3 places in our chart. We have 3 different aspects and different guidance systems in order to channel. So I really believe if you're taking channel, so many people, I was just curious to find out how many people know how to channel. By the way, if you're listening in, um, give me a yes or a no if you have ever channeled, or you have information that downloads, or you connect to channels, or you're listening to channels. Just give me a yes or a no in the chat so I can get a sense. Because what starts to happen is human design actually does build up a foundational support to show you what it is you're channeling, why, and how to intensify that connection. Yes? Okay, good. Oh my God, this is so exciting. Lauren, Stephanie, Barbara, wow, 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 wow. Okay, so a lot of you are kind of already understanding that. Well, what the human design piece is, it shows you when you're channeling, when that information is aligned and clicked in, and when it's off, and why, and what happens directly when you are not seeing your guides correctly. So to me, I really do feel this is more the evolutionary stage we're in, is we are aligning to this co-creative force with the channel. I just look around, I see so many people channeling more and more wisdom. So many more people are holding that frequency, but also so many people are flipping into confusion. Do you see that too? So many people are unclear of what they're witnessing. And so this is what that rave cosmology piece is. It is outlining the encounter, and it's a process. Okay, it goes through several different pieces in your chart to show you what each one of those pieces will do in order for you to be a full clear vessel for your, what Ra calls your education. And so what that means, it's kind of like birthing your higher dimensional connection and then bringing it through this vehicle for your education to give back into the world. So clearly, Ra, he was guided by a ghost, he was downloaded from an entity, his education was human design. He brought human design out as his vehicle brought the information out to share with the world. So those of you who are connecting to the human design information, you might be guided to bring it out in a new way. So like if some of you guys have watched the videos I did with Vicky, she's being guided as this mutative energy to bring forward new information on these codons. And so that's what's happening. Everyone's being guided, not necessarily only with human design, but with their guidance, higher wisdom, to bring forward education in a brand new way. But can you commit to it? Can you trust it? Okay. And so when we're talking about the wisdom of the financial piece, what that is about grounding the education and bringing it forward in a container that's practical, right? I mean, obviously, I'm a line 5. So, yes, I have to have the practicality put together for all of you guys so that so I can universalize this message where it's coming together with the spiritual and the human design. But everybody's going to have their own voice and everybody has something new to bring forward. Everybody has their own piece to the puzzle. Not everyone is going to bring forward the same thing. Everyone's going to bring it forward in their own unique way. And so that's why rave cosmology is so important. If you're feeling the downloads, you're feeling that wisdom, and you're like, oh my God, I am so turned on to human design. I'm not sure if I'm getting my full guidance. I'm not sure I'm getting my full education. I'm not sure what my purpose is. And you're not afraid to hear the terms like ghosts, entities, demons, angels, aliens, because that's where rave cosmology goes. And we track all of those energies and we track what's going on, but we see it correctly. So there's no fear involved. There's not like a fear when you're dealing with the what Ra calls the distortion of the mind. Is the only thing that sees the demons, is the distortion of the mind. It's a frequency of higher energy that's distorted when we're out of alignment or we're in transference. Okay. Other than that, it's wisdom. So this is just one piece for the rave cosmology puzzle. Now back to the energy of the money, is that I truly see, right, Lucia? I truly see that this money piece, there's this frequency in the vibration of getting out of lack. And it does take a full focus on all of the places where lack is still existing within our consciousness. Those places where we feel inadequate, the places where we feel we don't know enough, the places where we wonder why it's easier for other people, right? Now, that is all explained right here. Well, not all of it, but a lot of it is explained right here in your gate 48. So I know some of you let us know if you have the gate 48, but if you've just tuned in, please let us know again in the chats. If you're brand new and you haven't let us know, the gate 48 is what we're looking at, or type in no so we know that you don't have it. It's so funny when I'm going back looking through reading the chats and commenting, it's like yes, no, and I'm like, what were we talking about again? But it's all good. Okay, so Tara, gate 48. No, 48. Okay, so this is really good. We need to get to know whether the difference when we have it and when we don't, and they're equally as important when you're understanding the material. Okay, so when you have something defined in your chart, first of all, we have everything in our chart. So, it's kind of like, yes, we all have skin. Yes, we all have bones. Yes, we all have hair. Yes, we all have, all of the cells within us, the blood pumping, right? But it's all organized and arranged in a little different sequences based on the DNA coding, right? Based on how we are put together uniquely based on our DNA. So the human design chart is saying that when things are put together in a certain way in your chart and you have a definition there, that means you have a consistent access to that energy. Okay, it's consistent for you. If it's white there, that means that it's inconsistent. You absorb, amplify, distort, right? So when we're talking about the conditioning element of the gate 48, what are we saying to the world? We're conditioning everyone to believe that they do not know enough. You're not smart enough. You don't know enough. You should feel that you're not adequate. That is a conditioning element of the gate 48. There's a lot of definition here. A lot of people have the gate 48. I forget the percentage of it, but there's a lot of percentage of people that hold the definition of this gate 48. Now, the interesting thing about it is whether it's off a defined or undefined spleen. Okay. The defined or undefined spleen, consistent, inconsistent. So if you have undefined there, you do not have consistent access to your intuition. I'm sorry, spiritual teachers across the world. I'm sorry, every single mystical wisdom that says follow your intuition. If you don't understand how the spleen operates, you will be guided incorrectly on your intuition, period. Okay. Now, everyone always told me that follow your intuition, and I'm actually splenic, which is intuition, but like the way in which I thought the intuition was, which was when I was getting my downloads, which is my crazy mind madness of my gates of madness coming in with my undefined head and ajna and like all the craziness. I thought that was my intuition. So that was always sending me into all kinds of crazy, directions. Had to take my glasses off for a minute. And that is why I am so frigging inspired to bring this information out into the world. Today I woke up and having so many ahas and downloads and realizing that I cannot believe how far I've come. I cannot believe that I got here. I cannot believe that my wisdom of my inner authority allowed me to finally let go of all of that madness, all of my spiritual teachings, and be able to find my own way, my splenic authority. So this brings me to the inner authority. That was the piece that I really felt we didn't talk about in this Big Vision Envision. And part of it is because it's so repeated and it starts to have less of an impact if you hear it over and over and over again. But I'm going to say it one time with a lot of power. This process is an experiment. This process has power. This process will change your life. When you trust and surrender with your arms wide open and diving backwards to be caught by your inner authority, if you trust the wisdom you are getting, you will be led to the right people, to the right actions, to the right career. But what happens if you've been trained in inadequacy? If you've been conditioned with, I don't have enough, I'm not enough. If you're conditioned in the depth of not feeling valuable here, then your mind has been trained and it runs that cycle over and over and over again. And guess where we're going to the 48, to the depth of the well. The well, it doesn't just go on the surface. It goes deeper and deeper and deeper into the ground, all the way in. And it doesn't just stop at 10 feet. It is the deepest gate in all of human design. It is the deepest, most profound level of negativity as well, because it just wants to be filled up. But unfortunately, it has the essence of inadequacy. But that's not the only thing it has. So you must remember this in the gate 48. You must remember that's not it. That's not all of it. There's also the profundity to know how to build the significance and the awareness of what needs to be brought out into the world for the collective after much education and knowledge. These are the people with wisdom. These are the people that go all the way down and learn it all. These are the people that bring it out into the world in a brand new study because they've gone through the books. These are the people that know the knowledge. I love what Ra calls that. So the top of the 48 is the skills, the 16, it's the channel of talent, the channel of the wavelength. And that 16 he calls kitschy. Is that the word he used? I can't remember now. I think it was kitschy. I remember because I had to look it up. I'm like, what's kitschy? So that hanging gate 16, and I'm not here to put anyone down, okay? But if you just have the hanging gate 16, sometimes, guess what? You don't have the depth. Now, there's nothing wrong with any of that, okay? But sometimes it's important to understand that when you do have the 48, because you always feel like I am inadequate. I need to learn more. I can't speak. When really the truth is that yes, you're trying to bring that wisdom out into the world, but this is the place where the greatest wisdom exists. Why is it I'm including this in the manifestation piece, the Big Vision Envision, to bring it forward for our 2024 new year? Why is it so important? Because so many people have this gate. It's one of the most popular gates, and it's the deepest, darkest, and even to the point where Ra has called this the gate of black magic, where there's so much depth. And when you're mastering it and trying to bring it out, if you're not using it to help other people find their own inner authority, then you're there to manipulate. It's kind of an extreme word. Sometimes I like to use extreme words because Ra is a heretic and so am I. But I don't necessarily believe that. And the truth is, Ra always ends saying, I don't really believe in black magic either. And neither do I. But the point is that there's so much depth and so much darkness there that if you are using that wisdom to manipulate, or you don't understand how to manifest, you don't understand how to bring it out into the world, then it can get sideways very fast. And there's a lot of conditioning around not feeling like you can do what you need to do. And that all exists right here in this gate 48. So I felt it was kind of important to bring all of these pieces together when we're talking about the frequency of enough. You need to know that when you are using the manifestation, when you are bringing forward, when you are aligning to infinite wealth, you have to somehow fill the well. Let it fill up with water. Let yourself receive. Let yourself know that you are enough. And one of the ways I like to think of this is that when we start working in the frequency of the manifestation and the frequency of the magic and the miracle of connection to the unseen forces to bring forward more money in your life. Because here's the thing, we have to empower the light workers. We have to stop the wound of the light workers giving over all their wealth. Oh, this is what I should do for free. I should give this away for free. I should give it to you because I'm a spiritual being and I did it for so many centuries in my past life. And so when you give it all away for free, no one gets empowered in this field. Because who do we empower? The frigging pharmaceutical companies. They're not afraid to get the money. And then what happens? They have all the frigging power. And then we have all these spiritual people running around with no ability to take care of themselves, to give back, to be philanthropists. And I'm not saying to get caught up in the material world, because that can throw you off too. But it's about making sure you have enough filled up in your well to live in the frequency and vibration of money, wealth, and ability to invest in what you need. Okay? And so these are the pieces of the puzzle. In putting them together in that frequency, when we step out into the spiritual, that's the piece where you're not quite grounded. When you step out into the spiritual, that's the piece when you see the angels, you see the guides, you hear the voices. And then the practical is like, how do I interpret that? The human design is, how do I take action into the world? How do I live in the 3D and bring forward the spiritual? Now, I truly feel that this is what my purpose is, what I'm here to do. Because I don't even know why I'm doing all this human design teaching, because I feel like a spiritual woo woo. Like, my guides are coming through. I've got the 18 beings of light coming through, and like, I'm out there. And it's like, wait, what am I doing with this human design piece? And then it's like, that's what saved your ass, girl. That's the thing that saved your freaking ass, because you're so out there. Like, nothing else worked for me. Nothing else. I couldn't understand what they meant by follow your intuition. Do what you love, the money will follow. That never worked for me. None of those sayings, none of that spiritual stuff, even the decades of spiritual therapy, none of that worked for me. And so the human design piece had to come together. But now, as I'm really, really bridging, I feel like my unique way of bringing the human design piece is to bring it forward also with the manifestation. Hence why I'm doing the money test. Again, a lot of you are asking about it, wanting to understand how the money test is going to operate. It is literally an experiment, just like human design. It's going to be an experiment with the money manifestation tools, because I have way too many clients that are like, I don't have enough money to pay for this, this, and this. And I'm like, okay, let's get you money. Like, this is how we do it. I feel so confident because I cannot tell you, I'm the person who's the least capable of making money. Like, I feel so inadequate. Yes, I have the gate 48.1 insignificance twice, which is really about like, what is significant to bring forward to the collective after all your years of digging in, researching, digging in. What are you here that's a benefit to the collective? And this is the piece that I feel like is very important. You need to have enough money to invest. You need to have enough money to give to those people who are holding the spiritual container. You have to give to them so that you can do that too. Because everybody wants to have a spiritual career who is, in my community, all of us woo people, we don't want to go back to the 9 to 5. We don't want to go back to that frigging grind and the hustle and get in the traffic and ride in our cars and and feel drained. My whole energy field was drained in corporate all the time. But how do we do it? Because we doubt ourselves, because it's really hard to feel like, well, if I wake up and I meditate and I do my yoga, how does the money come in? Right? And so this is the money test. It's literally a test 24/7. It's 24/7. I want to work 24/7 with myself, with my new guides. I have new guides coming in. So I want to be channeling and bringing forward the new guides and giving you guys all the exercises to channel and to manifest and to stop letting money be a problem for you. And then we empower each other. We empower each other through the abundance and through the wealth of spiritual power. I want to say prowess, spiritual badass warriors that can hold in a CEO energy, that can hold in, I'm ready to pay my bills with strength and power, do what I want, travel where I want, sleep when I want, go to the gym when I want, go to the yoga when I want. This is the money test. It's not even a curriculum that I have together. It's literally going to be my guides teaching it, my guides providing intel, my guides working with your guides to bring you all of the wisdom and the guidance you need to be in full abundance. Now, the most important thing that I'm doing right now is my level 1 certification. Some of you are already set up for phone calls with me to get organized and decide, how we're going to do this level 1 certification. But I have to tell you that truly my certification program is my favorite thing to teach. And I love the beginning and starting at the foundational piece. Why? Because I am a line 1 and I have 10 line 1s in my chart. Did you know that Ra Uru had 10 line 1s in his chart too? I had no idea. I was reading that somewhere. I was like, oh my God, I have 10 line 1s too. And that is really just like building foundational pieces, building. I'm a double Capricorn too. Who was it that said she's a Capricorn in the 25th degree or something like this? I was like, I bet that's what I am. Someone commented that. And that's exactly what I am. So funny. Someone psychic had it. Anyways, it doesn't really, none of that really matters except for the fact that I like to build and I like the foundation piece. And so the level 1 certification is to start from the beginning, have clarity, get the foundational piece, and really learn how to build the next pieces on top. And how to, I'm telling you, I went in a very high level today or over the last 4 days on these concepts, and I brought in concepts and I brought in all these dimensional concepts of the gates and the channels and how they operate with money. And the only way I could do that is because I started at the very foundation, and I enjoyed like a super long decadent meal, every single piece, the appetizers, the bread, the glass of perfect wine, the side dishes, like every little piece of learning human design just got yummier and yummier for me. And every time I learn new layers, it gets richer and richer and richer. Rave cosmology is something I have taught before. So usually what happens is I teach the level 1, I teach my upper division, and then a new class comes in. It was the dream rave, the 4 radical transformations. I don't know what the new class is going to be. I think something around psychology. I don't know, but that's in the future. So there's 3 classes right now. If you want to learn more, I am opening my schedule for phone calls and to really connect with you guys and find out what you need, see which way you want to go. The rave cosmology, really, you need to have level 1 and level 2 in order to understand that. The money test is available for anyone and everyone who wants to take on that experiment because it's going to be freaking amazing. And the level 1 certification is for people who are ready to learn how to read their chart, their family's chart. And for those of you who have done the level 1 before, if you want to do it again, which a lot of you who did it last year and are ready for level 2, these 2 are going to be combined. So let's go back to the story of the gate 48. When we have this gate 48, you have to remember you are one of the most wise people in the room. You have to remember that your relationships have layers and depth. You are the people that you can sit in a cafe with and talk all day. And then the talking goes into a nightcap. And then the nightcap goes into a stroll along the bridge. You are the people that can go deep. You are the John Lennons of the world. I love Paul McCartney too, but he's the gate 16. Good partnership. 48 and the 16. By the way, that's a whole other conversation. You are the people in the room that have those deep conversations. You are the wise women. You are the wise men. You are the deepest in the room. The problem is you don't know that about yourself. And anyone who does not have this gate 48, you're conditioned to feel that you need to be more educated as well, when you don't even need to worry about that. You just do your divine inner authority and gifts in the world, which are all the other things in your chart, right? So if you're undefined there and you're like, oh, I relate to that. I don't feel adequate. I don't feel worthy. That's because you're absorbing that energy. Okay? You're absorbing that. So here's what we need to do. We need to empower the community with the you have enough, you know enough. It's time to go out and share with the world based on your inner authority. Now, a lot of you are new. Some of you listening to the recording may not know, may not be, have experimented with your inner authority. Please let me know in the chat if you need a little insight on your inner authority. If you're like, I sort of know it, but I don't really get it. I don't know what it means around money. There's a lot of new people. I don't see a lot right here because of the names that are popping up. Like Andrea, I know, I should put my glasses back on. I know you know your inner authority. Hi, Tina. I know you know. Vicky, I know you know. I just realized my glasses are scratched and that's why they keep like not having clarity. 48 is your moon. I'm John and Paul. Yeah. And Ringo's my favorite. Oh my God, that is so funny. So yeah, I mean, if we are going to talk the full channel, does anyone else know if they have the full channel there? Let's talk about it for 1 minute. I know, but I swear it's kicking my butt. Your inner authority, it should. You're at that stage where it's a butt kicker. So usually you get to the stage where you learn it, then you try it, you experiment with it, and then it kicks your butt because all your patterns come back up, all the things that your mind says, well, you should do this. What are you crazy? Why are you doing this crazy thing? And then you're like, okay, I'm not going to follow my emotions anymore. And that's when it starts really kicking your butt. All right. So if you guys are listening to the recording and you need support on the inner authority piece, let me know. Let me know. I would love to help support you. A lot of you who I do have phone calls set up with, um, we'll talk about it because I know a lot of you who have been emailing me and questioning and wondering what to do next and which class to get into. That was a big part of the question. So when we set up the phone call, we can talk about it more. Have you always seen her as Ringo? Yeah, you too? Oh my God, that is so funny. I love Ringo. I know. Ringo is the bomb. He's the luckiest of the Beatles, because like at the very last minute, he got like pulled in to be the drummer, right? And basically there was like Dave Starr, who was like he's the unlucky of the Beatles. Okay. So those of you listening to the recording and those of you who are here live, if you have questions about any of these classes, please let me know. I see a couple of people that have kind of shot off into PMs and a couple people who had said yes, and I kind of missed the chats. So I do want to make sure that if you are listening in and you do want to kind of go deeper and figure it out, please let me know. Please reach out to me. You can reach out on Instagram. You can reach out on Facebook too. Okay. So what's really important for us today is to seed the foundation of 2024. Okay. So we need to wrap up for today and wrap up for the full Big Vision Envision. This is day 4. Oh, it was Pete Best, right? What did I say? Dave something? I got the name wrong. Okay. Right now is a really important moment. You guys have been exploring both the frequencies, you've been exploring your human design, you've been merging these two together, you've been chewing on this information, you've been experimenting with your inner authority. Now, what we need to do is to lay the foundation and set a prayer or an invocation for the frequency of 2024. Now, because we've been going for a while today, I'm going to make this kind of fast, but I do want to make sure we do the ignition. So go ahead and type a ready in the chat for me if you guys are ready to do this process. And if you're listening to the recording, now is the time to give yourself a little space. And I also really want to celebrate these 4 days that we've had together. This has been really profound for me. I met a lot of new people. We got a lot of new energy into the group. We had over 1,000 people sign up. Maybe it was more like 1,500. I don't know. There's a lot of people signing up, and I know a lot of you are listening to the replays. And we had so many incredible insights in the homework and so many ahas and so much beauty. And I just want to really honor this community. And I know a lot of you actually know each other, and you know how beautiful each and every person is that are here. And you know that if you reached out to anybody here in this group, they would hold you, they would support you, they would talk to you about human design and all the craziness that we talk about here. here. So it's a very, very special group, and it's a very, very special community. And so I really want to thank everybody for showing up and for being here live today, and even for all of you listening to the recordings. I do want to give you just a little heads up that I forgot to say, that we are going to leave the recordings on for 1 week. I should have said this at the beginning because now you guys have probably all listened to all of them. But if there are some you need to go back and catch up on, you have 1 week to really go through the material. And I do recommend doing one again because we went very deep into the process. All right, so everybody go ahead and take in a breath with me. And we're going to come together as a community. We're going to come together as the frequency. We're going to come together in the alignment of support, the alignment of co-creation. This is a co-creation between you and your divine. This is an alignment in a frequency to live your truth, to live in a dimension and a frequency where you get to live as your divine self, where you get to wake up in the morning as your truth, to receive before you act, to respond to life, to wait for recognition, to be in that flow, and then connect in with the love of your life, your higher self. Connect in with the lover that is always with you, which is your guides. They are the ones that hear every thought. They are the ones that move dimensionally through your life. They are the ones that are guiding you and helping you learn your lessons, let you receive more, let you know there is always enough. Let you know that you do not need to be afraid to live your truth. You are held, you are supported, and you are allowed to dream the biggest dream. You're allowed to feel safe, to feel held, to say yes to your life, the expansion and your purpose. And take a breath in with me. And I want to thank each and every one of you for being part of the Big Vision Envision Challenge. So honored to guide you through. I'm so honored to help you through your experiment. I'm so excited for those of you who want to go on the journey of pulling in your guides on a higher level with the Rave Cosmology. For those of you ready to learn how to read human design charts. And for everybody who's ready to do the money test. Because it's going to freaking rock. So here's to you, 2024. We love you. And I love all of you. Bye, everyone.